Your parents keep screaming about inflation. Your friend won't shut up about crypto. Someone on LinkedIn is posting about the GDP slowdown like they invented oxygen. And you're sitting there thinking, what does any of this actually mean? Don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll understand all of it. No boring textbook, no painful lecture, just vibes, bad jokes, and actual knowledge. Don't run. I promise it's not as scary as your class 12 board exam. Let's start with the most uncomfortable truth in economics. You want stuff? A lot of stuff. New phone, good food, a vacation, maybe a pet dog, definitely better Wi Fi. But here's the tragedy: you can't have all of it. The world has limited resources. This is called scarcity, and it is the entire reason economics exists as a subject. If everything were unlimited, free pizza, infinite money, free Netflix, economics would not exist. We'd all just be happy and chill. But no, pizza costs money. Wi Fi has a data cap, your dreams have a budget. So here we are. Because stuff is limited, you have to choose. And every choice has a hidden price tag called opportunity cost. It's not what you paid, it's what you gave up. For example, it's Sunday, you can either study for your exam or watch that new show everyone is talking about. You pick Netflix. The opportunity cost, your exam prep, and possibly your grade, and your parents' faith in you. Every decision has one. Should I eat a second samosa? Opportunity cost, your diet. Should India build a new highway or a hospital? Opportunity cost, whichever one they don't build. Okay, so we're all limited. Limited time, limited skills, limited attention spans. So, how does the world not collapse into chaos every single day? Trade. People specialize in what they're good at and trade with others. Think about your apartment building. One person is a doctor, one is a plumber, one makes absolutely legendary biryani. None of them try to do everything themselves. The doctor fixes your health, the plumber fixes your pipes, the biryani guy fixes your mood. Everyone trades, everyone wins. Beautiful. Now here's where it gets spicy: comparative advantage. This says trade makes sense even when one person is better than you at everything. Say Priya can code and design, but she codes 10 times faster than she designs. Rahul can only design and slowly. Should Priya do both jobs anyway? No. Priya should just code. That's where she wins the hardest. Rahul should design because that's what he's least terrible at. Both specialize, more work gets done, everyone benefits. Countries do this too. India exports software and textiles, Saudi Arabia exports oil, Germany exports cars. Nobody tries to do everything. Specialize, trade, thrive. When buyers and sellers meet to exchange things, you get a market. Could be a vegetable market, the stock market, or the marriage market. Yes, that's real in economics markets, run on incentives. Lower price, buyers love it. Higher price, sellers love it. These two forces are called supply and demand, and together they basically run the world. Let's use India's most emotionally important vegetable, the onion. When there's a shortage, onions hit 100 rupees per kilogram, and your mom looks at the kitchen like it personally betrayed her. When there's a bumper crop, onions are practically free, and now the farmers are upset. That's supply and demand happening in real time. In your kitchen, in your mom's expressions, these two forces push and pull until they find a sweet spot called the equilibrium price. That's where the market naturally settles. Nobody planned it, no government decided, it just happened. Adam Smith, the godfather of economics, called this the invisible hand. Millions of people making selfish individual choices somehow create a working economy. It's chaotic, it's beautiful, it's capitalism. Before money, people used barter. You trade goods directly? 3 chickens for a pair of shoes. Sounds fun until you have a cow and you need a haircut and the barber doesn't want a cow. Now what? You're just standing there with a cow. Awkward money solved this embarrassing problem. It's a medium of exchange everyone agrees has value. It's also a unit of account. Everything gets a price in rupees. And a store of value, you can save it for later, unlike a cow, which needs feeding. Now, banks. Here's what actually happens when you deposit 10,000 rupees. You think it's sitting there, safe, in a vault with your name on it? Cute. What actually happens? The bank immediately lends out 9,000 rupees of it to someone else. They keep only a small fraction as reserve. This is called fractional reserve banking. They charge the borrower 10% interest. They pay you 3% interest. The difference? The profit. Smooth. You thought you were saving money. You were actually funding someone else's car loan. You're basically an accidental investor. Congrats! Now imagine everyone goes to the bank at the same time demanding their money back. The bank doesn't have everyone's money. It lent most of it out, remember? This is called a bank run. It is absolutely catastrophic. It happened in India during the Yes Bank crisis in 2020. Not fun. How do we know if a country is doing well or crying in the corner? We check its GDP, gross domestic product. It's the total value of everything a country produces in a year: goods, services, everything. It's basically the economy's annual report card. India's GDP just crossed $4 trillion, making us the fourth largest economy in the world. We overtook Japan. We overtook Germany. Your chai drinking, cricket watching country is now an economic powerhouse. But GDP has some issues. For one, it counts a car accident as good for the economy. Hospitals make money, lawyers make money, repair shops make money, GDP goes up, economy apparently doing great. The car is totaled. Questionable metric. It also counts pollution as zero cost. And this is wild. Your mother cooking, cleaning, raising children, managing the household, GDP counts that as zero. Because she's not paid. Apparently, unpaid love doesn't count. Economics has some growing up to do. GDP is like asking, how much money did you make to measure your entire life? Technically informative, deeply incomplete. Inflation is when prices rise over time. Your parents paid 1 rupee for a samosa in 1990. Today it's 15 rupees. The samosa didn't get better. It didn't upgrade. It's still the same triangular pocket of joy. Money just got weaker. Why does this happen? Two reasons. One, too much money chasing too few goods. Government prints lots of money, everyone has cash, prices shoot up because sellers know you'll pay. Two, supply collapses. Remember COVID? Goods became scarce. Prices went absolutely feral. Inflation is that friend who quietly eats your fries without asking. You didn't notice at first? Then suddenly half your fries are gone. A little inflation, 2 to 4%, is actually healthy. Economy is growing, people are spending. But too much? Your salary can't keep up with prices, and suddenly you're calculating if you can afford vegetables? Not great. In India, the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, is the economy's thermostat. When inflation gets too hot, RBI raises interest rates. Loans become expensive, people borrow less, spend less, demand falls, prices cool down. Economy too cold and slow? RBI cuts rates. Loans get cheaper, people spend more, businesses invest, economy warms up. This whole thing is called monetary policy. RBI is basically the DJ of the Indian economy. Too hype? Turn it down. Too dead? Turn it up. The problem is the music takes 6 to 18 months to change. It's a very slow DJ. Nobody loves paying taxes. But here's the deal. Roads, schools, hospitals, the army, street lights, none of this pays for itself. Governments collect taxes to fund all of it. There are direct taxes, income tax, corporate tax, you pay based on what you earn. And indirect taxes, like GST, you pay every time you buy something. Every packet of biscuits, every movie ticket, GST is watching. GST said, I don't care if you're broke. You bought a pizza? I get a cut. You bought fancy shoes? Definitely my cut. You breathed? Okay, fine. Not yet. But soon. Sometimes the government spends more than it collects. That gap is called a fiscal deficit. To cover it, they issue bonds. Basically, government I owe us. Investors buy them, government gets cash, later pays it back with interest. Those bonds pile up into national debt. Some debt is fine, like a home loan, but too much for too long, dangerous. The debate is always the same: spend more now to grow or save now to stay safe. Economists fight about this, politicians fight about this. It's never resolved. Very fun dinner conversation. No country is self sufficient. India buys oil from Saudi Arabia, electronics from China, defense equipment from Russia and America, sometimes both, awkwardly. India sells software to the US, textiles to Europe, medicine to basically everyone. This is international trade and it makes everything cheaper and more available. Your 20,000 rupees phone exists because 47 different countries contributed components, global teamwork. But when countries trade, currencies need to be exchanged. The Forex market, foreign exchange market, is where this happens. It trades over $7 trillion per day. It makes the stock market look like a school bake sale. When the rupee weakens against the dollar from 80 rupees to 84 rupees, that's depreciation. Now imports cost more. Your iPhone gets pricier, your international Netflix subscription gets pricier, your whole imported lifestyle gets pricier. Every time the rupee falls, somewhere in India, someone looks at the Amazon cart and silently puts things back. Sometimes governments say, okay, free trade is great, but it's destroying our local industry. So they put tariffs, basically extra taxes on imports to make local stuff more competitive. This is protectionism. India put tariffs on Chinese electronics to protect local manufacturers. America put tariffs on steel. Everyone does it. Everyone complains about everyone else doing it. The irony is not lost on economists. Finance is how money moves from people who have extra to people who need it. There are many vehicles for this journey, ranging from boring but safe to absolutely unhinged. Stocks. You buy a tiny piece of a company does well, your piece is worth more, you feel like a genius, company crashes, your piece is worth less, you feel like a potato. Welcome to the stock market. It is emotionally volatile. Bonds, you lend money to a company or government. They pay you back with interest. Lower risk, lower return. Safe, but not exciting. The accountant of investing, crypto, decentralized digital currency. No central bank, no government, just math, vibes, and Twitter hype. Potentially high returns. Also, potentially watch all your money vanish overnight. It's a roller coaster that might not have seat belts. You know that one friend who's either talking about how much they made on crypto or mysteriously very quiet. That's the risk return trade off in human form. The core rule of all investing. Higher potential returns always come with higher risk. Anyone promising guaranteed high returns with zero risk? That's a scam. Please run. Classical economics assumes you are a perfectly rational robot. You always think logically, you never panic buy, you never stress eat, you never make financial decisions at 2 a.m. Behavioral economics came along and said, actually, no. Humans are irrational, emotional, impulsive creatures, and we have the data to prove it. Economists looked at how people actually behave and were like, oh no, loss aversion. Losing 1000 rupees hurts way more than finding 1000 rupees feels good. That's why people hold losing stocks forever. It'll come back instead of cutting their losses. Spoiler, it often does not come back. Hyperbolic discounting. Your brain wildly overvalues the present versus the future. That's why you'll spend 600 rupees on food delivery right now, but won't save 600 rupees for your future self who really needs it. Future you is not your problem, apparently. Poverty trap. When you're poor, Every single rupee goes to immediate survival food, rent, medicine. There's nothing left to invest in education, savings, or anything that could break the cycle. This isn't laziness or bad choices, it's math. And it's brutal. Every society has to answer three ancient, deeply argued, never fully resolved questions. What do we produce? How do we produce it? Who gets it? Capitalism. Let the market decide everything: prices, production, who wins, who loses, all driven by competition and profit. USA leans heavily here. Innovation